What's up, rockstars? It's your favorite coach in the whole world, Coach Borino with you. Of course, it's Tuesday, so that's the time we talk about making more of these, getting more clients, helping more people, being a cool real estate rock star, not losing your hair or your sanity. How are you, everybody? We are here to talk about success, which we measure by two ways. You spreading goodwill and helping your clients, and you making a lot of these. And that's my job. That's what I do. That's my expertise. My name is Coach Borino. If this is your first time, special warm welcome. Anybody here for the first time on the live? We broadcast this at least once a week, but usually 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a week I come live and I share with you different scripts, dialogues, ideas, strategies, marketing advice. How to survive in this crazy market, but don't just survive. How to thrive. How to be the success you want to be, have the freedom, have the lifestyle, have the money, clients, and all the good stuff that comes with it. And you can and you will. And today we're going to talk about something very, very important. I should have done it a long time ago. So forgive me that it's taking this long, but we'll take care of it today. Let me just fix my sexy look. There you go. Much better. Mr. Borino needs to represent. All right. So Victoria is with us for the first time. Welcome, Victoria. John is with us for the first time. John, welcome. Ileana is here. Christina checking in. Deborah, good morning to you. David really likes my countdown. I should extend it just for you, David, and put your name on it. What do you think? Just kidding. Michael, welcome. Good to have you. And on our Facebook Rockstars, McKay's just joined us. Dan is here. Luke, Lauren, Mandy, Terry, Deborah, Leslie, and a bunch of others. Good to have you, my friends. So let's talk about something very important that will help you. Connect with more prospects. Get more appointments, get better listings. And the secret juice that we're going to talk about is, you heard me talk about the CDE. That's the magic. It is kind of like a remote control to the mind of your prospects. Would you like to have that? Would you like to be able to, without shenanigans, without manipulation? This ink is dry. Watch out. Bam. We should have a sound effect. I actually do. Hold on. I do somewhere. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah. Sorry about that. Would you like to have access to your client's mind where you, one, will be able to understand them, to really understand what they're trying to do, who these people are, what they're trying to do, and be able to influence them without manipulation, without pressure, without trickery, without none of that shit? Would that be good? Time well spent? Now, would you forgive me if we go over? Because it is a little more elaborate. Usually, I reserve this just for my PATH students, for my private coaching students. But I think you need to know. And many of you are my PATH students. Welcome. Good to have you. So let's talk about it. Why does it matter? How does that work? It starts with the secret dominant desire that every single one of us has. Whether it's buyers, sellers, real estate agents, we all have that. It is built into our DNA. It is one of the most deepest, most powerful desires humans have. But when it comes to moving, when it comes to buying and selling a house, it amplifies. It's more prevalent. It becomes dominant. That's why it's called a dominant secret desire. And it's secret because most people don't like to reveal it for one simple reason. They know that if unscrupulous shenanigan bullshit agents and salespeople get hold of it, they would exploit it and manipulate it, which some do. But it would be against their will. So they protect it. But it is a burning desire that people have. So remember this. The deepest dominant desire people have is to be heard, empathetically understood. To be heard and empathetically understood. Especially for those of you guys who work expired listings, you're already nodding your head, aren't you? You've encountered expired listing where you say, well, the agent never called us back, didn't really care. The encounters they have are usually about salespeople telling them, talking about them, presenting, pushing, pitching. And yes, they ask a question or two, but not because they really care about the answer, but because it's part of the script, it's part of the approach, and then they close them. How effective has it been? Not very effective, right? Not for me. I tried it, and many of you probably have as well. It's a stale approach based on 70s and 80s and 90s selling approach, bashing over the head and manipulating. What your prospects really want is to be understood, to be heard, where you not only hear what they're saying, you're getting it. You're not just listening. You're registering, you're understanding. That's what builds empathy. And if you remember, rockstar agent, 3 elements of being a rockstar: competent, confident, empathetic. They have a core desire for someone to come in and really listen, somebody who will get them. Once you do that, it's like magic. They will feel such deep connection, forget about your competition. It's not going to be about commission. It's not going to be about years in the business. It's going to be about this connection because it matters to them more than anything, even saving a few bucks, if you do this right. So we're going to start with that. It is the deepest desire they have. Here's the beautiful thing about this approach. There's no selling, there's no pushing, there's no manipulation, and there's clarity. But here's the best part about the clarity. Not only will you get clear who these people are, what they're trying to do, is that realistic, is it possible? They will get clear. They will understand what the hell they're trying to do and why it matters to them. They will finally get it. Now, here is how it works. Because they want to be heard, they want to share, but you, as an expert communicator, master influencer, and a guide and advisor, not a salesperson, will take them through a process where step 1, of course, they need to LTR, remember? Like, trust, and respect. Respect. I haven't spelled it right. I'm pretty damn proud of myself. It doesn't happen every day. So in order for you to determine what the core driving emotion is and then use it in your communication, I'll show you how that's done in a moment. First, they must like you, because this will drop the resistance and the barrier. Now, what does like you really mean? It means they feel connected. They feel we're on the same page. There's very little fear. There's very little apprehension. There are no walls. There's no resistance. There's no bullshit answers. There are no brushes. So that's your first order of business, is build this connection. Now, the good news is it doesn't take hours, days, weeks, months. Sometimes it can happen very quickly, especially if you're experienced, you practice this. So that's step 1. Step 2, they must trust you. That means the communication you have with them is honest. So they drop the pretense, they drop the story, and they go for the real thing. They don't mind opening up to you. So that's the second level. There is trust. They feel that you, which you should, and always do, right, because you're a rock star, you have their best interest at heart. It is only between level 2 and 3 you can start exploring what the core driving emotion is, because then the level 3 kicks in, where they respect you. What does respect mean? They acknowledge, recognize you being the leader, the high status agent, being the alpha, the dominant force. Just like when you go see your doctor, they diagnose you, they do the checkup, and the doctor does a prescription, and you follow that prescription. You accept their authority. Respect means they voluntarily and gladly accept your authority. Are you guys getting it? Do you see now how this matrix is very different from what you've been told? Build rapport, make sure they like you, the bullshit usual way. No, works differently. They like you, then they trust you, then they respect you, then you establish your authority and guidance. This is where guidance takes place. Guidance takes place here, where you can take over the reins and you can show them, well, you guys want to be in Florida in 3 months. Let's map out a strategy to make it happen. I can show you how it's done. And you can and you will. Now, where does the magic of the CDE come in? CDE stands for core driving emotion. Here's why that's important. Every single prospect, client, seller, buyer you've ever encountered moved for only one reason. You ready for this? I want to make sure you hear me. They move for only one reason, and that is this. They're going to feel better. Now, they will have 50, 60 different variations and constructs how they're going to explain that. But underneath all these constructs about school districts, 3-car garage, bigger house, smaller house, different area, better weather, and all that, it's just a simple driving force. And it's an emotion that's a desire to feel better. Either get away from stress, pressure, something negative, a problem, or go with something very, very pleasurable. That is the core driving emotion. It is always an emotion. And it is always driving. That's the D. That means it needs to be strong enough for them to say, yes, this matters to us more than staying here. Now, there's a second part to the core driving emotion. First is the emotion itself. The second is the intensity of that emotion. How big of a problem do they have? Or how bad do they want to be reconnected with their grandkids in Florida? That will determine the magic. Can you guess? Anybody? Motivation. The intensity of the core driving emotion determines their motivation. The higher the desire, the stronger the emotion, the more motivated they are, the more realistic they will be. The more open, the more urgency they will have. And it's driven by either a problem, something really bad. How do you draw something bad? Like make it explosion, like your neighborhood is exploding, boom. Not so much, but you get my point. Something terrible, something bad. House is really small, they got 2 kids. They live in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. That's a problem. Job transfer, that's a problem. Family cannot be left behind, the family has to move. Neighborhood is going to shit. It can be all kinds of things. But the construct is, if we get away from this problem, we're going to feel better. Now, the opposite is, I don't know, let's draw a star. Ta-da! Something pleasurable, being with the family, having a big house, prestige, status is big. People are driven by status more than anything. Why do you think they buy $3,000, $4,000, $10,000 watches? Or drive $100,000 cars or $200,000 cars? It's status. Status is big. Peace of mind, big. Love, connection. These emotions are strong. They drive them. So, let's go back. Core, in their inside, not the surface, bigger bedrooms or more bathrooms. That's the surface stuff. You want something that's in their core. They need to get in touch with what drives them in their core. It is a driving emotion. That means it will prompt them to take action, and it is emotion. It is a feeling, and the way you know you're tapping into it when you're having these conversations with them. They start talking about how they're going to feel, how happy they will be to have a Thanksgiving with the family, how much fun it will be to be with their friends and play golf on the golf course, how they enjoy the beautiful weather all year round. That's where you know you're getting close. Is it helpful? Are you getting... Some of you should be sitting there going, holy shit, this is really like to have a remote control to your clients, because then, once they're clear and you're clear, you're going to establish the intensity. And here is one. There are several ways to do that, and I teach you in the path many ways to do that when we study the influence, core influence. But one way to do it is called the takeaway. So you have a conversation, and let's say it's a, I don't know, expired listing. They want to move to Florida, since we've been talking about Florida. They want to reconnect with the family. That's important to them. Family connection, love, peace of mind, all matters to them. And you have a conversation with them. Now you do a takeaway. You talk to them. Some report, they like you. There is some level of trust, not quite 100%, but you're getting there. And there is some respect because you already established your credibility as an expert. And then you do the takeaway, and you say, well, Susan, let me ask you, what if the house doesn't sell? What if you don't sell? Would that be a problem? And then you watch and you pay attention, not just to what they say, the words, but you pay attention to their energy, their emotions, their facial expression. Because if you get a reaction like, oh, no, we'd like to go. It's important to us. You know you got something. As opposed to, we can stay. It's fine. Now, it's still possible there's not enough trust, but they're still hiding. That's possible. Or they're not 100% clear what matters to them most. But you need to explore. Because, friends, I tell you, most agents, especially desperate agents, especially the needy ones, will not spend 10, 15 minutes in a meaningful conversation like this. They will try to push for the listing, and sometimes they will get it using the typical sales strategies. And then 2 months, 3 months later, they're going for a price reduction because the property is overpriced, since they don't have a whole lot of motivation and not a strong core driving emotion. They can get a price reduction. They may even get a good offer, and then the seller backs away because it just doesn't matter to them a whole lot. My preference is to discover it in 15 minutes than 3 months of marketing the damn thing. Are you with me? Now, here's the final piece to this puzzle. Once I understand what their core driving emotion is, I establish these people really want to move. They have a problem and they have a desire. And it's strong, and I am clear on the emotion. I'm going to start bouncing it back to them. Because what most agents will do at this point is talk about how they're going to market the property, how it's going to sell for a good price, and how they're going to move them to Florida. That's not what the people want. That's not what your prospect wants. Remember, what really drives them is the emotion. So now watch this. If I incorporate in my conversation, well, Susan, you know, with the right marketing plan and selecting the right agent, you see the suggestion here, little NLP, it is possible for you to celebrate 4th of July in Florida with your family. We could make it happen. It is my job to come up with a marketing strategy that would expose the property to the right qualified, motivated buyers. And we can have a good offer if all goes well within the next 60 days, maybe sooner. But there are 3 things that need to happen. Let's do this. Let me put together a very detailed analysis that will show us clearly what is the best, the highest price we could get at this market right now. What is the best list price and the most likely sales price? How much cash you guys going to walk away with once it's all said and done? How much cash you're going to put in your pocket? And how long would it take realistically to get it sold, get it closed, so you're enjoying the time with your family in the summer? See that? How I incorporate that. Either the getting away from the problem or going towards something, what matters to them. Because now, remember, they have the secret, deep desire to be heard and understood. The moment I incorporate their core drive and emotion into the language, I am validating, I am feeding them back. I listen, I hear you, I understand you. Now, here's the beautiful part about this approach, guys. If you do this right, if you get this right, and it does take a little bit of practice, some mastery, it's not going to happen overnight, but I figured it out. You can too, or I can teach you if you want. Once you get this, you will never have to fight with other agents. You will never have to persuade the sellers. You will never have to sell yourself. Because a lot of this communication is not registered just consciously. It's not like the seller will be there with a checklist going, oh, he understood my core driving emotion, very good. He understands the level of my motivation to be about 8 or 9, very good. He understands our, you know what, it doesn't happen that way. They simply feel differently. And if I were to go back after that conversation, I would ask, well, what did you like about David? They would simply say, I don't know, we just like him. That's how we get there. That's the secret. Now, if you want, I have a whole program on it. You're going to get these dialogue outlines. These are not scripts. I had somebody bitch to me, say, these sentences are incomplete. That's not a complete script. I need a script I need to memorize. I'm like, no, bullshit, you didn't get the concept. These are not scripts by design. I don't want you to be a telemarketer reciting scripts. That's the opposite of what I teach you. These are dialogue outlines, so you get the core of the dialogue. You understand the guidance, where you guide them through the conversations. There's a whole bunch of them there. You get a book and video and all that. It's all part of the path. Month 2, we're going to work on your confident communication. So if you want to come on board, join the path, just go to goborino.com here. Let me show you the URL. goborino.com. It's $197 a month. I'll teach you all that good stuff. This is how it works, my friends. This is the secret juice. Getting to the core, being connected with them. And here's the best part. It's actually easy. It's much easier than reciting some scripts, manipulating people, where after you leave there, you're like, did we just get bamboozled into something? You know what I mean? If you ever bought a car, that's usually how it goes, right? They have all these closing techniques, you know, the 4 squares, and they take the keys to your trade-in, and they have all kinds of tricks. Let me talk to my manager, bullshit like that. You don't need to do any of that. This is actually more authentic communication than any other, not to mention it's super powerful. Make sense? Is that helpful? What does the Rockstar crowd say? Hey, Krista, good to have you. Welcome. So Victoria is new. Good to have you. Good. John is enjoying it. Excellent. I'm glad, John. Rock on Borino says, Gail, hey, hola. Be heard and understood. I have a great story related to this. We should have you back on Rockstars, Gail. Let's do that. Let's make it happen. Mr. Derek is here. Angela enjoying it. Carmel. My dear Cookie, good to see you. Victoria, very helpful. Good. Excellent. Patricia says, yes, makes perfect sense. Good. Jacqueline says, good morning to you as well. Enjoying it. Excellent. Todd, Krista, excellent. So my friends, focus on them. Make it all about them. Make the communication all about them. Get to know them. Ask them questions. Let them do most of the talking. But not just for the sake of talking. Oh, it's a strategy that I learned. No. It is the connection, because at the end, the success, your ability to crush your competition, including Purple Zillow and everybody else who's after your business, will solely depend on your ability to connect with people and influence them in a way that's pleasing to them, where they would like you to be their guide, where they like that somebody got them, that somebody understands and is willing to help authentically. And of course, at the end, you want to get paid. Absolutely. Of course, that's your business. That's your job. That's the bread. That's how you win it. But before all that can happen, make it about them. It's all about them. Focus on them. And it'll be like magic. They will feel fantastic. because most agents don't know how to do this, don't have the balls to do it, and don't have the persistence to learn it, because it's a skill. No special born skill required. You don't have to be born with any other attributes other than desire to really master it. Here's the thing. With all the technology and all these companies and, I don't even have a word for it, moving onto your turf, trying to get your business, what's going to win it at the end is this. Real estate has always been, and always will be a people business. A machine cannot do your job. A computer cannot do your job. A faceless website cannot do what you do. Because a machine or an AI, a process or an algorithm will not connect with them the way you can. The communication you can establish, the relationship you can build with them, only happens between two humans. So if you master this stuff and you put your expertise on top of it, where you really know your shit, you know the market, you know the pricing, you know all that, you're going to be unstoppable. You're going to be unstoppable. You put good systems in place, how to generate these leads in the first place, you need those obviously. You back it up with this stuff. End it with a solid listing presentation where you know the pricing, you know what's going on in the neighborhood, you can recommend the best list price. You're going to be a rock star. And those of you guys, and many of you here today, doing 50, 60, 100 deals, are doing this. I had dinner with my friend Mike and his wife on Saturday. Hannah and I went out. I've met Mike 3 years ago, I think. He was doing about $640,000 a year in gross commissions to him. Local agent, great guy. He came even to one of my workshops. For those of you who are in Listing University, there's an interview with him. So we had dinner on Saturday, and we were chatting, and he says, oh, I don't know if you even remember, but I came to your workshop, and you taught me one of the most important things that I learned that changed my business was the art of conversation. That it's not about fancy presentation, it's about closing, not about fancy lines or slick dialogues or fancy scripts. It is about one human being creating a deep connection, and then through that connection, guiding somebody through the process. And Mike last year made over $1 million. I taught him some things. Now, of course, he's doing the work. I only want to take a credit for what I taught him. He had to actually grab it and run with it, but he did. This is how powerful this stuff can be. So if you can back it up with consistent prospecting, good systems for solid lead generation systems, follow up to get you appointments, you plug in this approach, you're going to be unstoppable. You have to be. Because there are people, especially now, with all the technology and social media, all these things, we are more disconnected than ever. You guys notice that? And I know I see the irony in me telling you over social media how social media makes us disconnected. I see that joke in there. But still, this kind of connection is more desired, and people are thirsty for it more than ever. Authentic, real communication, conversation, rather than chatbots and social media posts and texts and emails and blasts and marketing and drip campaigns. Are you with me on this? Say yay! All right. This is what I wanted to teach you, my friends. So now let's take questions. I would be happy to help you answer whatever I can. Victoria has an interesting comment. You make it sound so easy. Barbara says, great information, very helpful. I do make it sound easy. Here is why. I've done it so many times. You become an expert at this by repetition, by doing it over and over. It may seem difficult at first, but here is what I would recommend if you find this difficult, or if you feel like this is so different from what I've been taught. Many of us have. I've been through the regular training with the scripts and closing and ABC, always be closing and all that. Here's the trick. Set an intention before prospecting, before following up, before meeting sellers, buyers, before meeting your prospects and your clients. Set an intention, I'm here to help. That's number one. Set the right intention. If I'll get the listing, fantastic. But whatever is in the best interest of the client, I trust will happen. Set the right intention. Number one. Number two, practice it. Don't practice on your clients. I did that. That's stupid. That costs you money and ruins relationships at times, especially if you're trying to be low status, pushy, sleazy, aggressive agent. So find a partner and practice it. This all can be practiced. You set up a scenario as close to the real world as possible and just practice it. That's how I did it. And I repeat this almost every live, guys. I don't have any special skills. I have one, but that's developed as well. I figured out how to teach others how to do this stuff. That's my expertise. You don't need special skills. You need repetition, practice. You need to give yourself a permission to first suck at all this. And that's a hard one. For me, forget about it. I have a big ego. I don't want to be sucking at anything or on anything. You know what I mean? I don't want to be bad at stuff. I want to just master the fucking thing, no matter what it is. Skiing, riding a motorcycle, real estate, anything. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. It's a process because it requires certain repetition, just like if you were to learn how to play tennis. You're not going to win the first match, no matter how much optimism you have and passion and desire. It's going to take time. It's going to take practice and a good coach. Somebody who can say, no, put your elbow like this. Do this with your wrist. Look this way. Put your body this way. Let's try again. Let's try again. Let's try again. But I promise you that with repetition and the right coaching, a little bit of coaching, and your desire to just keep hitting, even though at first it's going to fly over the place, you're going to get better. You have to. And at the end, all this is not like climbing a Mount Everest. It's not that hard. It doesn't take that much effort. So you can do it, Victoria. And yes, I make it easy because it does become easy. And here's the part that I like the most is once you master this approach, once you get the hang of this way, once you establish, you know how to do the CDE, you know how to do like, trust, and respect, you got it all down, you're going to look at some of these other agents or your old ways and you go, what was I thinking? That's a lot harder way to do it. It's a lot less comfortable. Not to mention it's very ineffective. You notice how the consumers are changing, how the public is changing? Things are changing. We need to change too, and this is one of the best ways to keep changing while still building authentic relationships that you need. It's a good way to do it because there's no manipulation. Mr. Jeff would like to know when your next boot camp is. The boot camp is starting on Thursday, Jeff. And if you really, really beg Roseanne, if you're really nice to her, my assistant Roseanne may be able to squeeze you in if we can ship you express the books. So get in touch with Roseanne, send an email to info@borinoproductions.com, and let's see if she can get you in. Victoria says, nearly on the right. Good. I'm glad. Excellent. Very good. Larry loves it. Everybody's enjoying it. That's good. That's good to know, my friends. Can you do this? The answer is yes, of course you can. Of course you can. It's going to be a little scary because it's like, you ever watch circus? We went to see Cirque du Soleil recently. Great show, phenomenal. And the trapeze. It's kind of cool, the setting and all that. I love Cirque du Soleil. I'm a huge fan. So there is a point where the artist is swinging. And then when they have the right momentum, they let go of the one trapeze to grab the other one. This requires the same thing. You have to kind of get the momentum going, and then you have to let go. And there'll be a moment where you go, oh shit, what have I done? And you grab the second one. You're going to transition into this. And it's going to be new and uncomfortable. It's just part of the process. But you can do it. You can totally do it. All right, friends. Looks like we answered everything you wanted to know. Looks like we got you the stuff you need to know. Focus on this. Think about it. Set the right intention. Practice it a little. Find a partner who would be willing to work on this with you. You can totally crush it. You can help a lot of people. You never have to say the words, I'm different. You'll be clear. Your sellers will be clear. They will appreciate you. Thank you. They will result in more referrals, more business, more peace of mind. It's good stuff. All right. So with that, I wish you all farewell. Good luck on your journey today. We may do another live tomorrow. Who knows? There is more stuff I can teach you. But this is important. And I was planning for a while to show you how to be that high-status rockstar agent. That it really is not about pressure. It really is not anything other than a genuine desire. Keyword, genuine desire to help people. So go forth and prosper, my friends. Appreciate you being here today. Victoria would like to sign up. Victoria, you need to, the best thing would be to either call us or email us because the bootcamp is starting tomorrow. No, tomorrow, Thursday. And we need to ship you 2 books. The Expired Plus 5.0, which looks like this. This one. And the Money Mindset. So call us, 800-573-8492. And see if we can get you in the bootcamp. All right? Roseanne is standing by, or you can email us real quick, info@borinoproductions.com. Very good. Productive session today. Did you guys enjoy it? Fantastic. Thanks for being here today, you guys. Have a terrific rest of the day. Go talk to some people, connect with some people, ask some good questions, and see what magic you can create very quickly. Coach Borino signing off. Let's go get him. Bye, everybody.